Leslie, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure because I switched mics.
Well, I made it to problem 14.
Good, and I'm going to talk to you about problem 16. I think it's 16, just to ease people's minds because they're going to freak out on that one too. Not freak out, but just get frustrated. And I don't like when people get frustrated. My cat's already complaining, so. I don't want you to see my shirt too fast. I know. I know you were trying to. There's a big contest there. See who can figure out what shirt I have on. I know. I know. The excitement of our day. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
That was very cheery. That was like sing-songy, Bobby. I appreciated that.
Well, I'm getting there.
Nice.
About to turn my life into a musical.
Oh, did I tell you my daughter was so disappointed when she started high school and she said, you know, high school is nothing like High School Musical.
I can imagine that's heartbreaking. I've never seen High School Musical, but
Oh, wait a minute. Stop talking right now. Like, you have to watch it. I'm telling you.
I have seen the Anna Hendricks one a cappella, though. Is it anything like that?
Do you mean Pitch Perfect?
I do, yeah.
I thought you said something that was not Pitch Perfect, so don't do that. Pitch Perfect is one of the best ever. Have you seen all three Pitch Perfects, by the way?
I've seen at least 2 of the 3.
Yeah, you don't need to see the last one. It's
okay.
it's pretty bad. And that's coming from a person who adores Pitch Perfect. So Pitch Perfect just makes me happy. Yeah, she was pretty disappointed, my daughter, when it wasn't, High School Musical wasn't actually real. Yeah, it was sad. We went to Utah where they filmed it, not because of that, but we were at choir and we just seemed to be there. Yes, we are. I love that lump sum conversation happening. Okay, I had our slides up and they disappeared off my screen. Oh, I found them. So exciting. That's what happens when you have 42 displays up, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you got stuck on the more homework. That is a little traumatizing there. I'm going to give you guys a worksheet that I want you to try the first 3 problems on, and then we're going to do a lump sum example. Why am I only zooming? I don't know what's happening right now. Who knows how to make their mouse stop zooming? Like, oh, I figured it out. I figured it out. Yay. I'm the best. Not really. Okay, so here is a practice worksheet. Do like at least the first one for warm up. And then we're going to talk about lump sums in just a minute after everybody gets here. And I share my shirt. I know, I'm excited. True. So these ones in the chat, the PF7 that I put in chat, the first 3 problems are like the problems we did in class yesterday. And I know some of you got stuck on your more homework, but we're going to go over that today. So you should be fine after today. Did anybody else come and I didn't let them in? Let's see.
I let in
Okay.
Clementine and Ulissa.
Thank you. We're missing a couple more. Zevi, Ben, Francisca, and Sine. All right, so try the first one on that worksheet that I put in the chat. I'm gonna wait one more minute and then I'm gonna share my shirt. It's gonna be sad if they don't see it. If you want to check if your answer is right on number one, when you finish it, you can just privately chat it to me and I will let you know if it's right or not. Did everybody get the worksheet that I put in the chat? Okay. Kate, you're correct. Leslie, you're off by 10 cents. I don't know how that's possible. Did you use TVM?
Yeah, maybe it's just a rounding error.
Yeah, but it's your 10th place. You know, it's weird. Jonathan, you are correct. So Leslie, in your TVM, do you have 15 for N
Mhm.
and 7 for your interest rate?
Yes,
And then you have negative 3,000 and then 1 and 1?
yes.
Okay, and then read me what it says on your FV line.
So it's 75,387.06603.
Okay, you might have just typed it wrong because you typed 17.
Okay,
So, and it should have just been 07.
07, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured it was just a weird mistake. Sorry if I just gave it away to all of you. Is anyone using the formula? No, you're like, we've abandoned the formula. It's gone. It's fine if you have to, but if you don't have to, I'm not sure why you would, right? AJ, that's super small. Are you using the formula or the TVM?
Formula.
Okay, so I bet it, are you using a graphing calculator
Yeah.
or decimal? I'm wondering if you're missing some parentheses because if you put in $3,000 for, how long are we leaving it in there? 15 years. Even if you just put in $3,000 every year for 15 years, you're going to have $45,000. So do you see how your number is not reasonable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maddie, you are correct. Okay, I'm going to share my shirt. Are you ready? It's not a math shirt. Okay. And I know some people don't celebrate Thanksgiving because it brings back, it's celebrating maybe you know, the slaughter of indigenous people. And I'm very respectful of that idea. And that's not why I celebrate Thanksgiving. Just so you know, Thanksgiving to me is just families getting together, okay, and giving thanks for what they have. So hopefully you're not offended that I do celebrate Thanksgiving. So, and if you look up the history of Thanksgiving, I've actually done some reading from indigenous people, native people about how they've changed their traditions, because some people who maybe didn't grow up on the reservation celebrated Thanksgiving and it was just a time to get together with family. And the older they got and the wiser they got, and maybe they returned to the reservation, they learned more about the history and they decided maybe this is not something we should be celebrating. And so they changed it to looking at indigenous foods and native foods that are in the United States and celebrating that on this day. So just so you know. Okay, so here's my shirt. We do a turkey trot every year. There's my shirt. And those names are all the names of the different families. So, you know, I have 3 sisters. And so all of my sisters obviously changed their name. And so we put their last names on it. And then my nieces who were married. So that was our Thanksgiving shirt several years ago. I don't know when. But yeah, it just made me happy that we have shirts. Sometimes I think we're doing Christmas shirts this year. We were going to do Christmas masks, but then I said maybe we should do 2021 masks because that would be more celebratory because let's get out of, right? Christmas, I'll feel like I can't wear it anymore after Christmas. But if it says something festive about 2021, like bring it on, we can do it. And maybe if there was a musical song that would go with anything, I would appreciate it. Yeah, it's true. We were talking, in case you weren't here, we were talking about High School Musical and Pitch Perfect, which now I need to watch Pitch Perfect. Like maybe today. Probably not today, but it's okay. Okay, anyone else have a shirt to share?
I put a shirt on to share today because I found it when I was doing my laundry and I started laughing and I was like, that'd be a fun shirt to share. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but it literally says Vegas Inc. And I don't know if anyone's ever been there, and I don't have any tattoos, but my parents were drunk when they took me to Vegas for the first time on the first night, and I'd been wanting to get my nose pierced really bad. So my parents, we walked across this shop and they let me get my nose pierced, but I couldn't have one for work and I wasn't thinking, and I was 16. So my parents were being very irresponsible. But my nose got super infected a month later, and I have what are those things when you get your nose pierced and you get bumps inside my nose, and totally have a scar here from it just being super infected from having to take it in and out when you first get it. And I was a competitive swimmer in high school, and it just never had time to heal it. I had to go on medicine to heal it. So I thought that was something funny to share.
That is a great story. I appreciate that so much because
keloids, that's what it is. Sorry.
My daughter on her 18th birthday wanted to get a piercing because she's 18 and then she could do it, right, without my permission. And she got her ears double pierced, but then she got a piercing up here, you know. And my husband was having the conversation with her about if she was getting her nose pierced or not. So now I get to tell her your horror story, Bree, and now she'll never get her nose pierced. So, but she got her ear pierced way up here, and it's doing really well. So
yeah, I replaced it. I mean, I have one you can't see it, but I got something similar, but it's the conch or whatever, and that one is way better. So at least I still have jewelry, but I mean, no facial piercings ever again for me because that was very traumatizing and embarrassing. So I had a gross infected nose sophomore year of high school.
Well, and now you can just blame your parents. So that's good. Yeah. Okay, so who else has a shirt to share? Anyone? I love it now. Every time you see that shirt, you think of that, right? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for a sec to just show you that problem. If you did that first problem. So, and I put the TVM solver in there. I really like highlighting. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, I really like highlighting the important parts. And then here's my screenshot of what I did on the TVM solver. So then you can see here's the amount I got, and then I rounded it to the nearest cent. So $75,387.07. Any questions on that problem? Bobby.
Did we figure out what Leslie had typed in there a little bit off?
Yes,
No,
we did.
she got it right.
Oh,
I think she had hers was exactly right. I'm curious if we figured out AJ's problem because I did not put in the Desmos. You know, I just had AJ, did you figure out where your formula went wrong?
I think so. That'll put everything in right.
So what did you get now for your answer? Did you get $75,387.07?
I must have been something wrong because I'm getting the same number.
Okay, so let me share my screen and I'll put up Desmos this time. And then I had it up from yesterday, so we'll just change the numbers. So how much did we put in that account? I don't have mine in front of me.
Let's see where I get it wrong.
3,000 each year.
What was there? 3,000 each year. Okay, so I'm gonna put 3,000 here. And then I'm gonna put, what was our interest rate?
7%.
7%. And when was it compounded? Annually?
Yes.
Okay. And then for how long did we say? 15 years?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, so do you see how, okay, so where are you making your mistake, AJ? I'm just curious because somebody else is probably making the same one.
I didn't divide it by 0.07 over 1.
Okay, there you go. That'll do it. So, yeah, so what's nice is, did you hear me say I've had this up since yesterday? I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really want to type that all in again. So I just left it on my computer, you know, like in a tab. So that's me being lazy. So, and now I'm just going to screenshot this and put that in my key. So the benefits of electronics are very helpful, right? So I appreciate that. So then I'll just put it right here. Yay. Okay, so then when I share this key with you, you'll see both the TVM solver and the formula. So you might find where you're going wrong, okay? Okay, so the conversation I want to have is about lump sum. You could do number 2 and number 3 on that worksheet. I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem, but instead of spending time on that, I really want to make sure I show you the lump sum first of all. First of all, some people didn't understand what that meant, you know, lump sum in general. So we want to make sure you understand that that means just a single amount all at once, okay? So, and I know you have some hints on the more homework, but you're like, the hints might not be helpful. I may give you a different worksheet. I know you're probably worksheeted to death. I could put them all in the same one, but I just didn't. I want to give you, these are just the example problems that we're going to go over today. If I can find it. I messed with my screen and now it's going crazy. Maddie, what reminds you of J.G. Wentworth's commercials?
The lump sum, like, you know, if you need your money and I need it now or whatever.
That's what we
I
talked
don't
about
know
yesterday.
that.
Roxanne,
Is
that's what
that-
Bobby said yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Bobby did the whole infomercial. I don't know that J.G. Wentworth. Maybe I just didn't. Was it in a musical? Because otherwise I might not know.
No, it's
They-
a commercial.
They did make it, they made it a song though in the commercial sometimes. It's like 877 cash now. Like, it's like so terrible. I've seen it like 20 years ago and the song is still burned into my mind because
Okay.
it's one of those predatory commercials though. They're like, if you got a settlement from a court or something like that, why would you take the monthly payments? Don't do that. Let us give you a lump of money right now and we'll collect your monthly payments from now on. You know, here's $20. Like, so predatory, but that's really what a lump sum is. Like, you're going to get a chunk of change. If you win the lottery, you can either take monthly payments or you can receive a one-time lump sum, which would make you more money in the long run.
If you invest it and don't blow it, right?
Well, I guess if you don't invest it, because if you are smart and you take the lump sum up front, you might be able to make more money by investing it than taking the monthly payments. But if you took it and put it under your mattress, I guess, like, it's more
Right.
money than it's more money to take the monthly payments than the lump sum.
Oh, by the way, I would always take the lump sum, just in case you're wondering. First of all, I don't play the lottery, so I'm really never winning anyway. But if I played the lottery and I won, I would take the lump sum. So just so you know, for lots of reasons, mostly because I could make more money investing. Second of all, taxes would happen right away and I would be done with it. So Otherwise, every time you get that monthly, annual, whatever the payment is, you're taxed on it every single time. And for goodness sakes, what if everything goes bankrupt and they really don't give me that money? That's my fear. So there you go. They made it into an opera. Ulysses, you guys are the best. Okay, so can you see my screen? Yes. Okay, so 2 steps in the TVM solver to do these lump sum problems. Find the future value for the first part, then use your future value as your present value to find your new future value. That's one problem. Or you can solve with formulas in the TVM solver. Sometimes you only need to use the compound interest formula, and we'll talk about that. So here's an example. And did I put that in the chat? Did I put the thing in the chat ever? The new one?
We have PC7 annuities day 2 warm up examples, and you try.
Perfect. That's it. And it should look, the first example should look like this. Suppose you invest $140 a month for 6 years into an account, earning 7% compounded monthly. First of all, what you want to pay attention to, you know this is annuity. What is the key that tells me it's an annuity?
You're investing a certain amount of money each month.
Yes, it's that repeated payment that tells you it's an annuity. So as soon as you see that it says per month, right, and you keep doing it, that means it's an annuity. So right here, that tells you it's an annuity. Then we still have our 6 years compounded monthly. And then after 6 years, you leave the money without making any additional deposits in the account for another 26 years. How much will you have in the account at the end? So this isn't a lump sum problem, but it's also some problems that you had on more, right? So what you need to do, you can use your TVM solver. You have your capital N would be 6 times 12, which is 72. Your I would be 7. Your PV is going to be 0. Your payment is going to be negative 140. Your FV is what we're looking for, okay, eventually. And then your PY and CY are 12 and 12. So that should seem normal. If we're just doing this part, how much will we have in the account after 6 years? That's how we'll do it, right? Whether we use a formula or the TVM solver. So we'll get that number. Then it says after 6 years, you just leave the money alone. And the key is here, you do not make any additional deposits. So now it's changed. It's no longer an annuity at this point. For this second part of the problem, it's now just compound interest, okay? So, and it says you leave it for 26 more years. So on that part, you need to get rid of the payment, and you're going to move the amount you had from your future value, and you're going to put it into your present value, right? Because now that's how much you have in your account. You're going to change your N, because now your N is going to be, you have it 26 years, and it's still compounded monthly, okay? But now you're going to take out your payment. Your payment's going to be 0, and your PV is going to be the value that you found from part A. Okay, so do you see how that's a 2-step problem? So try that for a minute. See if you can find an interim answer here. Write it down so you don't lose it. You can't round that interim answer at all. You need to use the whole value. Okay, otherwise your part 2 will be wrong. And then find this part, and I'll show you what it looks like in just about 30 seconds. So if you're still working, it's okay.
My TVM solver said capital N, lowercase a, capital N in the future value.
It said,
in future
what?
value, it says, in future value box, it says capital N, lowercase a, capital N, just NaN.
Like the letters are already there?
Well, when I clicked future value, that's what came up.
Were you solving for future value? Did you hit alpha enter? Are you using this?
No, I'm using the TVM
Okay.
on my laptop.
Okay, so let me put it in there. And you're just doing the first part, right?
Oh, I was on to the second part. So maybe
Okay, you were onto the
typed
you were
in.
onto the second part. So that's okay. If you're onto the second part, we're gonna look at what it looks like in just a second. So on the second part for n, you put in 26 times 12, right? So you put in 312 in that box,
Yeah.
and you put in 7 for your
Yeah.
interest rate.
Mhm.
And then for PV, you put in your number you got from the first part.
Yeah.
And then you have 12 and 12. So what was your number you got from the first part?
$12,482, and then you said not to round it, so I put 0.5321.
Yep. Okay. So now I'm gonna do it right now too and see what it looks like. Right.
Okay. If you don't get it, I can share my screen to show you.
Okay. What'd you say? 12. What did it say? 12.3.
Or I got 12,482.5321.
Okay.
Oh, somebody else said they got the same thing.
Okay. So I'll share my screen because actually you share your screen because I got exactly what Maddie just put in there.
Okay.
So share your screen, Sydney. Am I sharing? Let me stop.
Sorry.
Let me stop mine. There you go. Go ahead. Share your screen.
Okay.
No, it's good because it's going to happen to you when you're not in front of me. So
Yeah. So this is what I got right here. Can you see it?
I'm looking. I have too many windows open.
Yeah. So solve.
Okay, you have
Make-
nothing in for payment. Put in 0 for
The
payment.
negative at PV that she needs to
And-
put. I
Yeah,
think.
put in negative for your PV, but I don't think I put in negative for mine.
I
And
would
just
put in
hit
negative
solve.
0.
Just put in 0 right there too, and then hit solve.
Okay,
There
there
you
we go.
go.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I bet it was because you didn't have a 0 in your payment. So it didn't understand what was happening. Okay, so Carmen,
makes
now that you
sense.
put a 0 there, does it work? Yay, okay, so good. That's why we need to troubleshoot these things before you're taking a quiz, right? And you have a panic attack because you don't have to add the negative before the number. You can. Did it do anything different, Maddie? Let me look at mine and put it in there.
No, it didn't, but I think during the homework it said to put the negative, or maybe I'm wrong.
It probably did because that's money. Well, in this case, it wouldn't really be negative because it's money you earned and you're just leaving it there. But what do you think, Bobby?
I think that the negative sign in this one, it's not necessary, but it is helpful for some students to make more sense of the problem. Like, I don't have access to this money right now.
Right.
The negative sign, Maddie, is just talking about the direction of the flow of the money. If I take the money out of my wallet and I put it in an investment account, I still have that money, but it's negative because I'm like losing it or I'm giving it away from my person. Even though that account that I'm putting it in is still mine, like the money is still mine.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now too? Okay, so if I zoom in right here, you can see there's my TVM solver, and I got $12,482 and then 0.5321. And then down here at the bottom, I got the same thing on Desmos. So I showed you it both ways, on Desmos and the TVM. And then over here, here's part 2. So part 2, I did put in the negative here, Maddie. Can you see it? And then I still got a positive value. So I think it's probably good for you to pay attention to the negatives, but don't get freaked out if you don't put it in there. Just know when you write your final answer to me, your answer is not going to be negative, right? Okay, now, this really wasn't a lump sum kind of one yet. The next one is the one that's a lump sum. So any questions on this one before we move on? You have to think these through because these get complicated, right? When there's a part 1 and a part 2. You have to really make sure you're thinking it through. Okay, so no questions. Let's look at this next problem. This one should seem familiar to you if you were stuck on more. Okay, let's read through it. I'm going to highlight as we read through it, okay? So to save for retirement, Rocio deposits $400 each month into a retirement account, earning 7% interest compounded monthly for 25 years. How much will she have saved for her retirement? Okay, so we can do that problem, right? You can use the formula, you can use the TVM. Let's do that, and everybody type in the chat your answer, and you can do it privately to me if you don't want to share it with the whole world. Okay, so just type privately to me if you are nervous that your answer is wrong, or if you don't want to ruin it for someone else. If you're using TVM, remember you have to do N and I, TV, PMT, SV, and then PY and CY. If you're doing the formula, you're just going to use your formula that you just used, right? And you're going to change the numbers. Well, that's what I would do. Sorry, I'm just getting to my chat now. Kate, nice. Andrew, nice. Caitlin, nice. Ben, I hope everything's okay. Leslie, yes. Jonathan, yes. Mackenzie, yes. Maddie, yes. Now just round to the nearest cent. Okay. If you would answer, right? Bree, yes. Sine, yes. Maddie, yes. Debbie, yes. Carmen, yes. Any questions on how to do that part? The first part. Sydney, yes. Those are the same ones we were doing yesterday, right? We just crank it out. We do the annuity formula. You could use the formula or you could use the TVM solver. It's the second part that's the problem. Anorak, yes. Clementine, yes. Anyone not getting that answer? Anyone having trouble? Because we need that full answer for this second part. Okay, so you put 300 here, 7 here, negative 400 as our payment. That is a, oh, sorry, that's PV. 0 for our PV, negative 400 here. And then our future value was what we were solving for. And then PY and CY were 12. So you got a number right there. And that number, hopefully, was $324,028. And then it had 0.6772. So if you were just giving the answer, you would round to 68 cents. But which that would be true. How much will Rocio have saved for her retirement? Rocio will have saved $324,028.68. Okay. But now for part 2, we have to read through this. Rocio could make a single deposit into her account, still earning 7% compounded monthly for 25 years. So same time, same interest rate, right? But now we're trying to figure out how much would she have to put in right now to get that amount at retirement. And the amount, when it says the same amount, they want you to use this dollar amount that you found from part 1. Okay, so that's still your future value. But now we're not making any payments. Okay, we're just putting in a single deposit. So this time our N is still going to be 300 because it's still compounding monthly for 25 years. Our I is still 7%. Our PV is what we're looking for. So that's what we're solving for now. Our payment is going to be equal to 0. And our FV, we're going to leave that 324,028.6772. Leave the whole thing. And then PY is still 12 and CY is still 12. If you're using a formula, you're going to have to use a different formula, right? Because now we're solving for present value. We're using a different formula. Okay, so do that part. Andrew, awesome. You got it perfect. So put in these numbers into your TVM, or you could use the formula. Mackenzie, yes. Caitlin, are you using a formula or TVM? Oh, did you put it in just like this? And solve for PV. Very nice, Sydney. Very nice, Sine. I love how you're like, maybe, maybe, maybe. Very nice, Maddie. So it's really the hardest part. Leslie, that's way too high. That's how much you would have to put in? That seems way too high. Let's look at my next. Oh, same with you, Zebbie, way too high. Annie, yes. And then your final answer, you would round, right? So I'm going to show you the TVM on the next screen, which will also show you the formula, AJ, if you're using the formula, okay? So on this left side, everybody got that for an answer, right? That was the original part. So for this right side, this is our new amount. So make sure you have PMT, make sure you have 0 for PMT, and you have that same future value in there. What you changed was you put 0. Oh my gosh, what is happening? You put in 0 for your PMT and you solved for this one. You solved for your payment. So Leslie, do you see where
for your present value?
Sorry, your present value. Yes, present value. The one I highlighted, present value. So Zebbie, do you see where you went wrong in Leslie? Okay, so does that help you with the lump sum? Yeah, Zebbie, big one, right? You forgot to put in 0 for your payment. If you forget to put in 0 for your payment, it's gonna change it totally. Okay, so is everybody okay with that? Do you want to try the last example before I set you to work on a different activity? Yeah? Okay, let's try the last example. It's very similar. This is to save as a down payment on a house, which this is going to be an important idea. Does everybody know what a down payment means? Leslie, can you explain that to us, or anyone? I just saw Leslie shake her head first.
So typically, depending on the type of loan that you get on your home, you're always gonna have to have like a 3% or 6% down payment.
And so that you have to pay for upfront. And so let's say the house that you're buying costs $200,000. And let's just say it was an exorbitant down payment because you don't have a great credit. Let's just say it was 10%. Okay, so you're gonna have to put down $20,000. That means you're gonna finance $180,000 because you already paid $20,000. Okay, so just so you know, we're gonna need that when we talk about loans. Okay, so it's the same idea here though. She's just trying to save some money. So notice now she's only saving for 5 years, okay, because she wants to buy a house in 5 years. It's the same procedure, just change your values. So try those two. If you want to chat me privately, if you want to chat Bobby, I'm sure he'll have the answer too. If you want to ask either of us questions, you can totally privately chat. Don't chat to everyone because it might ruin it for them, okay? You guys are doing awesome. So are you doing okay? Like those of you that haven't chatted me yet, maybe you chatted Bobby, I don't know. But yay, Adrian's like, yes, I got it. That's excellent. My dogs decided it must be crazy times, just so you know. Zevi, good job. Your rounding should be 49 on the end, but yes, everything else is good. If you're still doing the second part, I'm going to let you keep working because I'm going to put you in breakout rooms and I want you to do on PF7. I think there were 3 more problems. Let me see. That are like this. Let me look. Yeah. And some of them are a little long. So, but I'll have you work in your breakout rooms on that worksheet. Good job, Sydney and Mackenzie. Jonathan, I'm off by a cent on your answer. I had 53 instead of 54. And Sine, yes. Yeah, Bree, I think you put it in the wrong place. Check that one. I'm going to show you the answer in just a minute. I just want to make sure everybody had enough time to chat me before I ruined it for everyone. Spoiler alert, I'm going to show you the answer, right? So does this make more sense now, Leslie, for those of you who were stuck last night? Mackenzie, does this help?
Yeah, it was just the word lump sum. It was just funny because it was like, Sydney, I had the same question yesterday and it was just a word. Like it wasn't even the problem itself. I just got tripped up on lump sum. It's honestly a weird word. So
Okay, so a couple people are getting a weird answer for the second part. So I'm going to show you mine. If you think about it, if you're trying to earn, if you're trying to, or if you're saving $33,000 after 5 years, and it says, how much do you have to put in right now to save that same amount? It should be less than $33,000, right? It shouldn't be more than $33,000. So when you get a strange answer, you should know. And Bree got that strange answer, and Bree was like, something's wrong. Did you figure out what you did, Bree?
No, I'm like drawing a blank of where like numbers go. So I want to see it to see like
That's
where
really important.
I like
Yeah.
cannot remember. So I'm gonna
That's
look.
super important for you to know, because that's what students struggle with on the quiz. They're like, oh, the TVM solver is easy. But then it comes the quiz time and they've put things in the wrong section, and then all their answers are incorrect. So if you notice this part right here, that $33,149, and then it was 0.489, that's what we got from the first part. So that's my future value still. I leave that there. What I changed was I put in 0 for payment, and I solved for my present value. Sorry about that. I solved for my present value. Nothing else changed.
I flipped them. For some reason, I put my future value in where my payment or my present value.
Where your
would
present
be.
value goes.
So that's, I see it. That's why I was like, I don't know what I'm putting in wrong. So I know that I don't know. But
yeah, so an easy way to think of that is to go, okay, when it says how much would her lump sum deposit have to be in order for her to save the same amount of money? So when it's how much did she save, that's for future value. So it's really just making sense of the problem more than how to push the buttons on your calculator, right? Or on the TVM solver. Okay, so you have a couple more regular annuities on that worksheet that I gave you initially, right? Because we're done with this worksheet now. Yes, I will put the worksheet that we are currently working on. It should be this one. It should say PF7 practice, I think, right? That's what it should say at the top of it. And it looks like a lot of problems, but I kind of broke them down a little bit for you. And we did the first one today as warm up. And if you want to practice just the lump sum ones, you can skip down to those, right? You don't have to do all of them. You can go back to them, because while Bobby and I are here with you, we want to make sure you understand those harder problems. If you were struggling in the beginning, go ahead and start at the beginning, okay? I'm going to leave you in your breakout rooms until about 10:05. Bobby and I will both be coming around and checking on you, okay? Everybody make sure you get that worksheet. And I hope I put everybody in the right room. Tell me if I'm wrong. And there's Ulissa, for some reason, your name has disappeared and I have to put you in after. So Andrew, Ben, Jonathan, Kate, is that right? AJ, Bree, Carmen, Clementine, is that right? Sydney, Anorak, Maddie, and Ulissa, is that right? Nice. Caitlin, Mackenzie, Sine, and that's Leslie, right? Leslie disappeared off that. Is that right? Okay. And then I think I got everyone. Okay, so I'm going to open your rooms, and then Bobby and I will come around and check on you. Leslie, I'm putting you in your room now. Just taking me a minute. Alyssa in room 3. Zevi, you are normally with Francisca, but Francisca's not here. So how'd you guys do? How far did you get?
Oh, sorry.
It happened to us too. Sydney and I were like right in the middle of a sentence, but that's okay.
Did you need to finish your sentence?
I got the gist of it.
You got the gist. So now you have to
Yeah.
compare. You know, he didn't invest the same amount that Robert did. You have to find out how much Nick invested out of his own pocket over those 20 years that he's making those payments, and then find that difference.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so welcome back. I hope you got some practice. I'm going to post the slides after class, and the slides have the key to this worksheet on them too. So after you do your worksheet, or if you need some help when you're doing your more homework, you can refer back to the slides or to the worksheet. Okay. The other thing is, Bobby might have told some of the groups about question number 16 on more. So question number 16 on more is a personalized question for you. You have to figure out how much money you want at retirement, and then how long till you retire, and then figure out some information. The trick is that since it's a student entered question, it only counts it right if every single part is right, and it won't tell you which parts are wrong. So make sure you read the directions on question number 16 so you can get that part, okay? I'm gonna put the exit ticket in the chat for you. And then tonight, your PF7 more is due. This worksheet is not due, okay? It's just to help you. So PF7 more practice is due tonight, and you have a mini lesson for tomorrow because it's payout annuity, okay? So things are gonna be a little bit different. So I think you figured out that there's a lot of reading and understanding that goes on with these problems, and less mathematics, right? Because it's just where you put them in the calculator. So it's really the thinking part that's harder. Okay, excellent. So tomorrow we will do We Share Wednesday and annuities, okay? And you can work ahead if you want. Remember, I have all that stuff posted for you. Otherwise, I'll see you later. I'm staying here for a few minutes if you need help, but I'll let you finish your exit ticket.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, Andrew.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too, Sydney. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Alyssa. Bless you, Mackenzie.
Thank you. That was a violent sneeze.
That was a violent sneeze. I felt it from here.
Hey, Rocky, before I go,